Whenever you guys are ready, just let me know, and I'll shoot all of that.
Cool.
But I gotta tell you, gotta say, my stomach is full.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother, for pancakes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Steve came
Hilarious.
through big time.
Got a little itis going on.
Don't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Because I talk with a lot of sisters, man. I love the fact, you see what we doing. This is the system that we need, that I was speaking about earlier.
Absolutely.
To get a lot of things off. And I know I can confide in you guys, right? So me and my lady was talking one day. We got into a little heated conversation. And one of the questions I gave to her was, I said, I believe, or do you believe, her, that the women's movement, the feminist movement, was the rise or fall for women and our families with our black men or men in general? Because a lot of things happen. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the fact they created this movement because
you know you're about to make a lot of people mad, right?
Of course. Well, that's what we do, baby. That's what we do.
Hey, listen, I go to church.
But I mean, I felt like you guys are the only brothers I can actually bring this to the table with, because you're very authentic, you're very strong, and you're firm, and you're going to be honest. I was telling her that, it was great for our respect, the equality, the transgression for women, but on the other side, the roles between men and women seem to go another way. So what are your thoughts on that, man? Because it was heated in my house, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely the gift and the curse.
Right.
Right. On one hand, women's empowerment, women's enlightenment, women standing up for themselves is needed.
Right.
It's definitely needed, but it's also a false sense of security, and it's also a false sense of identity, which prolongs them from dealing with some issues. As long as women can hide behind their success, whether it's financial, moving up the corporate ladder,
right,
materialistic,
right,
I'm okay.
I don't need a man.
It's him. Yeah, and that whole independent,
right, strong woman.
Okay, so let me. Let me play
kick in the door.
Let me play devil's advocate, because I don't want no emails. I don't want no calls. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate for all my followers.
Oh, so you gonna leave it on me?
Yo, I'm devil's advocate on this one. Listen, I'm a genius behind the scenes. What women are gonna say to your question,
right,
is, well, we have to do that because y'all don't.
See, I think that's a cop-out, because then what that says is that there are other men out here that's doing what they're supposed to do. I know a young man that has 3 of his children. The mother is no good. He's fighting. The court system is having him go through huge hoops, and he's been showing through documentation and also through the kids testifying how great of a dad he is, and he's still doing loops. So my point is, what happens, I think a lot of women, they focus on the demand for men. Oh, it's not too many good men.
There's no good men out here.
Right. Men are not worth nothing, but there are great men. You have to ask yourself, where are you looking? See, one of the things I always say is that there's all good men there. But if you're using your lips and your hips and your fingertips, you're going to get a dog.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
You attract what you are.
Thank you.
That's the reality of it. You attract, and again, this I'm just going to throw in a disclaimer.
Let's go.
Right.
I'm going to make sure, by the end of this, I'm going to put everybody's email up. Email them directly. Don't email me. Go ahead, brother.
This doesn't apply. There's no everybody, so this
right.
to
everybody.
all.
I got you. Right.
But there's a large segment that base everything they are. Their whole identity is based around what they wear, how their shape is, or how much success they have monetarily, and it's somewhat superficial. And again, not so much to judge, but to actually observe what it is. And if you never get to the core, then you're going to attract other superficial people.
Right.
That's really it. And like you said, if your whole commercial about who you are is sex, right? Is the short skirt, is the highest heels. It's just I'm oozing sex.
Right.
And then when you get these guys that come to you that all they want is sex, and you're confused about why they want sex.
Right.
Well, newsflash. Right?
Message.
You going to work in stilettos. You going
Right.
to work, and my wife tells me, you know, she works for a major corporation, and you know, she tells me that so many of the women come to work like they just like they're going to the club.
Yeah.
Like they're going to the club.
Church, bruh.
Yeah.
They doing the same thing in church.
Yeah, and again, in my opinion, in my research,
Right.
in our studies with people, once they really start to get honest, it is all compensation for really low self-esteem.
Definitely.
Because if you're really secure with you, and you get a lot of women who'll say, man, I don't dress for nobody else, I dress for me. And
Right.
I'm like, okay, maybe, you know, maybe.
Right.
But when you're dressing, you know, a certain way where, you know, everybody knows it's just inappropriate to dress that way. In the name of, you know, this is who I am, and this is, I'm doing this for me. You know, it's usually a front.
Right.
It's usually a front.
And you know, I want to say too to this. You know, I think that we have forgotten our roles.
Yeah.
I don't think men want to be treated as kings, but don't know how to act as kings
Correct.
accordingly.
Correct.
Women want
I
to be
agree.
treated as queens
I
and don't
agree.
act accordingly. You have women now
I agree.
that are taking the roles of men.
Yeah.
Some of them are forced to because there's no father figures, and I definitely I give nothing but props to those women. But when
Absolutely.
it comes to, there's certain reasons. You know, we all Christians here.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, Adam and Eve was made for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Adam was made from the dirt, so he got to get physical. He got to spit. He does all these things that women are not. Women are more nurturing, soft, fragile. But that's what makes it a powerhouse. They both,
They complement each other.
yes, they
Yeah.
complement
Yeah.
each other.
No
You know?
one person has it all.
Right.
But together we have
Yes.
it all.
So my thing is, if you know your roles,
Yes.
play it accordingly. But what I think what's happening is that commercials, when I say commercial, I'm talking about media,
Media, 100%.
has come into our relationships and our lives and has infected us with poison. I remember you speak about stilettos. I remember when I was growing up, stilettos were only in porn. Any woman that wore those out was looking at they
Cheap.
were
Yeah,
cheap
yeah,
and
yeah,
whorish.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
now it has seeped into our regular mainstream
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
that
every
women
day.
now are thinking like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
So I need to get this to pull that. Men also, what we have is vices. We have those cars,
Yeah.
our verbiage, how we say certain things.
The
You know what I mean?
front.
The front. So it's like we're allowing the world to influence our relationship. I tell women all the time.
I love stilettos, by the way.
Me too. But I tell them all the time, don't let that Hollywood BS infiltrate into your
And
relationship.
tell you who you really are.
Right.
I get that. You know, to go back to your question about the feminist movement, I will throw my opinion in there on this one. And this is just my opinion. I do think I think it was done for a purpose. I do think in some cases, some women have taken it a little too far.
Right.
And it has been a decline. But I think there's a balance where, going back to what you said, when the man knows his responsibility as the
Correct.
head of his household,
Yeah. Right.
you don't have to deal with the feminist movement.
Yeah.
The challenge is, ladies, finding a man who knows how to be the head of your house.
Correct.
And
Correct.
willing to be, and learn.
Teach
Willing
you
to
love,
learn.
Correct.
Willing to learn how to be, not rule over you, not dominate the house, but take the responsibility that God gave him. And I'm sending it directly to you because I know I'm gonna get some emails on this one. I know I'm gonna get some emails on this one. And it's a point. I gotta throw this in there real quick. The larger question is, and I know we gotta wrap this up. The larger question is, because this is the question I hear the most. Well, where do you find him at? Where do you find that man at? Because I can't. Now, that's a very big question.
Right.
That's a huge question. But it is one of those questions that empowers the feminist movement.
Okay.
Because now we can't find a man like y'all three sitting around that table.
Well, you can't find them if your vision is blurry. And what I mean by your vision is being
Nice,
blurry
nice,
is
nice, nice.
if what you've taken in
Nice.
has been garbage, then you're gonna attract. Like you were saying, you're gonna
Right.
attract garbage. So I think what happens with people in general
Correct.
need to deal with themselves first.
First.
Then that vision to be clear. So when I see the woman I want, she could be in a grocery store.
Yeah.
She can be working someplace else. Because I don't really believe in good men are always in church. I mean, we all know what happened in the church. You know what I mean? So I think that's what the deal is for me.
You're absolutely right. I think the picker is broke. You know, and once you calibrate your picker to be right, and again, it only goes back to you know, the question really becomes when you talk about looking for somebody. First of all, would I date myself? If I really get honest, right? Would I date myself?
Yeah.
You know, with all these issues, would I put up with that?
Yeah.
Like
No.
in our practice, right? There's 3 buckets that we categorize things in.
Okay.
There's things that they both agree on. There are things that that can be compromised on, even though you don't agree. And then there are deal breakers. You know, and if you take this self inventory of your own issues,
right,
and what bucket you would put it in, right? Well, you'd be surprised how much we enlighten people, because they have these characteristics, and not to say that they know and just don't care. They're not even aware that they have these characteristics until you get in a discussion with them. And you get the aha moment, the light bulb goes on, you know. So we get them to open up and be realistic about some of the issues they have. And then we tell them, which bucket would you put it in? And at the end of the exercise, like, you got 2 that are in, you know, agreement bucket, you got some compromise, but you got this whole laundry list of deal breakers. So you're saying, like, okay, these are your issues. So how would you expect somebody else to tolerate his issues?
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah, now they get it. Light bulb, bing.
Very true.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good exercise. That's it. I hope that's a good exercise.
And he gave it free.
3 buckets. If you don't like all your issues, But I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I think you know, one of my goals why I wanted to pull the brothers together was because we have so many divorces in our community.
Yes.
50. They said it's 55.3, something of that nature. It's in the 50s now.
Wow.
Yeah, in this country.
And you know what too? It's crazy because if we don't deal with these things, it's over. It's over before it gets started.
Yes.
That's it. Like I mean, see, a lot of times we're marrying out of infatuation.
Correct. Correct. No purpose.
No purpose. You know, I spoke at a women's conference a couple of weeks ago, and I said this. I said, if the man doesn't have a vision for his life, he'll never have a vision for yours.
That's right. That's deep.
I see myself going somewhere. So now the family that now, because now we have a lot of blended families. Right. So now if I can't see me, you, and the kids going somewhere, I'm already off track.
You're just wandering.
You're wandering.
There's no destination.
Yeah. Even if the sex is good.
Yeah. Because that's going to wear off.
It's going to wear off after a while.
It's going to become the same old crackers.
Right, the same old crackers.
Listen,
shouts to Eddie Murphy.
I got to run. Yeah, right. I got to run real quick. I'll be right back. But I love you, brothers.
My man.
My dog.
All right.
Listen, so we can't get lunch or nothing like that?
Yeah, nah.
Your turn to be cooking, bro.
Yo, whenever we done.